Stella, Splash, Simba, Boo, Sammy, Richard, Nancy, Goldie, Ziggy, Ringo, Eva, Hydrox, and Ditto, the Lucky Ferals. It's about 5:30 a.m. and I woke up to anxiety. Yeah, I drank some water. Now I'm having a rescue remedy and some juice, and I just feel like I overdid it a little bit yesterday, like walking all those flyers around, in 30-degree weather. So today, I have to practice more self-care, and I think it's better to lure Sammy to the yard than to try to go after her, because after she saw me, she ran. So I think it's not going to be productive to do that. I'm better off trying to just lure her to the yard. So that's that. But I keep having flashbacks of Stella in the emergency room, and that's what's bringing on the anxiety. It's making me sad, and there's just so much going on over this past week. It's been such a nightmare, and that's what I feel like. I feel like I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm still in this nightmare. I just went to the kitchen to get more water and more juice, and I looked at the juice container and I looked at the juice bottle. It's actually 120 calories per 8 ounces, and for some reason I thought I was only getting 60 calories per 8 ounces. Same thing for the apple cider. So I just went back to the calorie list from yesterday. That adds another 120 calories or so, which brings me up to 1175 for yesterday. So that's better. I'm going to start putting a list together for today. So what's happening is I woke up feeling anxiety, and then I was getting nervous because of the anxiety. Right now I'm shivering and shaking, and I'm cold, I'm shaking. It's the anxiety. So I'm trying to do some deep breathing and to work through it and to tell myself it's okay to feel this, it's okay to feel this. I'm really just trying to self-regulate right now. I need at least another 2 to 3 hours of sleep, so I hope I can get that. It's really easy to want to feel bad for myself. I just want to feel bad for myself and kind of have a pity party. But I'm fighting that urge because I just don't think it will be productive, and I just think it might make things worse. So when those kind of thoughts enter my mind, I've been consciously trying to redirect them in a different direction. I have to remind myself I still have 9 cats in this house to take care of that need my care, and there's Sammy outside wandering around somewhere. I need to get her back in the house, and I have to remind myself that this is not an impossible task, and this is something that I can do. I'm capable of doing this. Because part of me wants to say, it's too much, I can't handle it. That's the internal fight. Part of me is saying, you know what, this is all too much, I can't handle this. But another part of me says, you can do this. You can get through this. One day at a time, 1 hour at a time. Just focus. Do what needs to be done. That's the mode that I've been in, just do what needs to be done. Because I don't have a lot of energy for extras, and I think walking all those flyers around yesterday just really took more energy out of me than I actually had. And, I'm still running on adrenaline. Today, I definitely need to slow down and just focus on what's here in the yard and what I have to do, in the house. And, it's back to being a work day. So it's I don't even know what day it is anymore. The past 2 days, it didn't even feel like the weekend. It's a horrible experience. Now my mouth is dry. Now I have dry mouth, so I need to drink something. It's about 8:40 a.m. I feel so horrible. I'm forcing myself to eat a hard-boiled egg because this really helped me the other day when I felt this horrible. I drank a bunch of water this morning and some juice. I just woke up, I don't know, maybe like 20, 30 minutes ago. I'm having anxiety really bad, and my body just feels so drained. I overdid it yesterday. I should not have done everything that I did. So I'm like totally in self-care right now. I have to take care of myself because I have to take care of the cats. So I need to make sure that like I'm stable. I do feel better after like eating just this little bit of hard-boiled egg. I need to breathe and stay calm and get through this episode. I feel like I'm hoping it's just an episode and I just have to push through. It's about 9:10 a.m. and here's Boo. Good morning, Boo. Good morning, Boo. So I've gotten myself dressed. I'm just wearing sweats today, which I normally don't wear, but I need to remind myself that this is a day of self-care. I'm continuing to drink fluids. I had a rescue remedy, which I think definitely helped a lot. I called a friend on the phone who's fairly local, and I just want to know who's around in case I need something. And I have like this weird congestion in my head. And that was really like troublesome to me when I woke up. I was like, oh no, why do I have this weird congestion in my head? But then I remembered that, I've been eating tapioca pudding right before I go to bed. And that's what dairy products do to me. Whenever I have dairy products, I get like head congestion. I get chest congestion. That's why I don't eat them, because they're very congesting to me. And I've been eating them twice a day. So I've had the tapioca earlier in the day and I've had the tapioca later in the day. And that's not a normal part of my diet. I'm hoping that's why I'm feeling this horrible head congestion. But I'm also feeling just like a little, I don't know if it's like dizzy or woozy. Like it's not full-blown dizzy. It's just kind of woozy. I'm feeling kind of woozy. Yeah, so I'm just trying to keep things calm. All the cats are like super quiet today, which is also like worrisome for me. Here's Simba. Although they were, super quiet yesterday also. I just really, really miss having Stella getting me through my day. Like I feel her loss the most in the morning because she was the first cat to jump on my bed and get pets and, get me out of bed. And at night when I go to bed, because she would be right there jumping on the bed, going to bed. So that's when I feel her loss the most. And that makes starting the day like difficult. Like the other day, 2 days ago when I felt like this, as the day went on, I felt better. So I'm hoping that happens again today. I'm hoping as the day goes on, I start feeling better, except my digestion is like really off. I have to see if I have like some Pedialyte downstairs or something like that, something with some electrolytes in it. I just took one of the stress multivitamins, so I'm hoping I'll start feeling a little bit better from that. I'm going through the motions, I'm getting ready for my day, and I know this is not what Stella wants. Stella does not want me to beat myself up like this or put myself through this. And honestly, when I was out putting flyers around for Sammy last night, I remember thinking to myself, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be home resting. But instead I pushed myself because I just wanted to get it done. I was like, no, I'm just going to do it now. I pushed myself through it because I was like, I'm just going to get it done. So I'm not putting any more out today. I put it all around, the most closest houses and stuff. And I honestly think that extending so much energy yesterday, first dealing with the snow and then trying to locate Sammy, is why I'm feeling so poorly today. So I definitely need to step it back today and just kind of put myself in low gear, like slow motion, and first and foremost, take care of myself. I know that Sammy can take care of herself outside. I saw her just after midnight. She can take care of herself. I'm hoping she comes back, in the patio and then in the house. I am concerned that she did run when I was, saying, hey, Sammy. But there's nothing I could do about that right now. Here's Boo. And if I don't take care of myself, then Sammy is not going to have a house to come back to. So I have to make myself priority number one today. The cats are getting crunchies for breakfast. I had some raw food defrosted, but I can't do it. So I put it back in the refrigerator. Maybe they'll have it for dinner. And they're all just getting crunchies for breakfast. Boo's having a scallop. Scallops are really high in taurine, and taurine is really great for panic attacks. In the past, whenever I eat seafood that's high in taurine, I totally eliminate panic attacks. And maybe that's why I did so good yesterday, because the night before I had shrimp for dinner. So I'm going to see if I could do that. The problem is I could not stomach the scallop. I was going to eat a scallop, which I normally love. I normally love scallops. I took one bite of it and I thought I was going to throw up. So I was like, yeah, I can't do it. I gave the rest to Boo. I'm still working on the other hard-boiled egg. And the Lucky 7 got crunchies downstairs also. I'm going to let them up in a few minutes. I am emptying out my dishwasher, which is something I normally do on a daily basis. So I'm just kind of forcing myself to do it. One of the reasons why I have to be on a strict routine with regards to dishes and kitchen cleanup. These are the dishes that are left in my sink. I'm now starting to load the dishwasher. And one of the primary reasons why I have to be really good with washing the dishes and keeping the kitchen prep area clean is because I make raw food for the cats. So for example, this bowl here, that was left over from their dinner last night, and it was homemade raw food. Normally that would go into the dishwasher and everything would be cleaned overnight, but it sat there because of, the situation with me being out to try to find Sammy. So I am just slowly putting all of this in the dishwasher, and then hopefully later I'll run the dishwasher, and then we'll be more back in the daily routine. Just little things like loading a dishwasher could be so important in some kind of return to normalcy. I reviewed all of the security camera footage from overnight, and the only time Sammy was seen was around 12:34 on that one video that I saw before I ran out to find her. And then the last time I saw her was around 1 or 1:30 when she ran off when I called her. A very big challenge I'm having is that Ox, cousin Oliver, keeps eating all the food that I put out to lure Sammy. So last night I put out another can of tuna, and then a little while later he came by and he was eating it. There's various plates of food around that I think are frozen. Right now it is 33 degrees and it's supposed to go up to 38 today. I'm hoping we get some sun. The more snow that can melt, the better. So I'm going to try to eat another hard-boiled egg. I'm going to look at what I ate the other day and see if I could kind of repeat that. I need to just relax a little bit right now. It took a lot of energy for me to kind of get dressed, get ready for my day, and give the cats crunchies, and empty the dishwasher, and then empty the sink into the dishwasher. So I don't want to do too much at once because of what I did yesterday. So that's why I'm going to grab my computer. I'm going to sit on the sofa. I already talked to my day job, and I told them, here's the situation. They're very understanding about it. So I said, I'll do what I can do, but I can't promise full productivity. And they understood. They're like, yeah. They had someone I talked to there had a bad virus a few weeks ago. They're still not feeling good from it. And they told me that what they had to do was just kind of do everything really slow and go down to low gear for stuff. So that's the goal for today. My hair's wet, so I'm not going to go outside with wet hair. Maybe in a little while after it dries, then I'll put some more bait out. Maybe put out a trap. I'm using my pulse oximeter just to check my oxygen levels and my heart rate. Now this heart rate is pretty high for me. My normal heart rate is pretty low to begin with. It's usually in the 50s or low 60s. My oxygen is at 99 now because I've been doing some deep breathing exercises, the belly breath exercises. So what you do is you put your hands on your lower abdomen and you breathe so that you feel your lower abdomen like moving in and out. That's a technique I learned many years ago as far as, reducing stress. So I've been doing that. And this is definitely a helpful tool. But look, you see my heart rate rising. Now it's in like the 80s. I just want it to like hit 69. I'm trying to do the deep breaths to bring it down. I am going to put on I Love Lucy. I'm basically going to try and recreate everything that I did the other day because it worked and the next day I felt really good. So I'm going to work on that. I think what's helping most is the amount of laughter, because this has like a live audience and the audience is just like laughing so hard, and it's like real laughter. It's not like fake laughter. And I think just hearing that is helping me, like hearing a ton of people just genuinely happy. I watched the episode where Ricky Ricardo was doing the Straw Hat song. I've also been using this frankincense essential oil. This is really calming. I'll use this at night if I can't fall asleep, but today I put some on, like, how you wear perfume. I use this instead. So I think this is really helpful. I also took out this vetiver essential oil. It's just quieting on it. I find this to be very grounding, and I feel like that's what I really need right now. I really need just a lot of grounding. Somewhere in this house I have grounding mats. I used to be very into like earthing and grounding, so I wish I knew where they were because I'd start using them. And the other thing I took is this Bach walnut flower essence. I got these, I don't know, these might be 10 years old right now. I mean, I got these quite a while ago. This one says it allows you to make or adapt to major life changes. So that's why I took 2 drops of this one. I have a bunch more of these downstairs that I know would be super useful if I took these. The last time I really took these was when I was dealing with a very stressful and difficult situation. It was work related at the time. And these were amazing. I mean, that's all I could say. I mean, a lot of people say, oh no, there's no scientific evidence. I swear they make the difference between being able to function and being able to not function. So that's why I said, let me take these. Now these you could take pretty much as often as you want, although I tend to like space them out. Like I'll take 2 drops and then a few hours later I might take another 2 drops. So I have to see which other ones I have downstairs because they definitely could be useful. Otherwise, I'm laying here with a blanket on top of me and I'm trying to get through an orange, which I'll be happy if I could get through. The bananas that I have aren't really perfectly ripe yet, so I'm not eating that. And I do feel like maybe I would be able to take a nap. Here's Ringo. Can you see him? I know the lighting is bad, but he's hanging out over here with me. I feel like the best time for me to take a nap, if I was to take a nap, would be around now, so that I would be awake and more active later in the day, because the best time to put any more traps out would be like later this afternoon, because I don't think Sammy's going to be running around at this hour after she was out running around scared all night. Today, a lot of the neighbors are going to see the missing cat flyer. It's 1 p.m. now. I've been relaxing on the sofa, and I've been in contact with a few people, and there's a local woman helping me with regards to, getting Sammy back to the yard, and now she thinks the next thing would be to definitely put some traps out. So she told me a few things to buy that are kind of like her little secret with regards to attracting cats to the yard or to a trap, and one of them is liquid smoke. So I spoke to her on the phone yesterday, and she's like, yeah, definitely get some liquid smoke, and thankfully I had some, and I actually put it all around the backyard. And I think I mentioned this previously. I also, she said, put out some dirty clothing, so I went in my hamper and I got some dirty sweatpants and I put them outside. I really think doing those things helped bring Sammy back to the yard. I didn't see her in the backyard, but she was in the yard. I hadn't seen her in the yard for over 24 hours before then. So she gave me a few other tips with regards to like where to set up the traps and how to set them up and what else to put outside. So we're going to do that later, but I still want to relax. But what's going on here is that my pulse is finally going back to more normal for me. Right now it's still a little bit high in like the mid 60s, but when I first put this on my finger, it was at like 57, which for me is more normal. My normal is like around 60. This is my normal because I tend to be a very laid back person. I don't tend to be like an anxious person. I don't tend to be a nervous person. And that's why like this situation with the anxiety is just so difficult for me, because this is not how I usually function. I was watching a video about anxiety and they're saying, yeah, just feel the fear and do it anyway. But I don't feel it as fear. And that's the difference. Like if I'm afraid of something, I feel fear very differently than how I'm feeling this anxiety. It's just a different feeling in my body. And then I watched another video that says, well, when you get symptoms of anxiety, it's the same exact thing as excitement. And you can't go from like an active emotion like anxiety to doing something calm, like waiting in a waiting room, for example. That's why it was so difficult for me like the other day when I was in a waiting room and I was filled with anxiety. Like I had to move around, I had to pace. They said, but you can go to like the opposite emotion that's very similar. So for anxiety, that would be excitement. Because, you know, when you're excited, you have an elevated heart rate, your adrenaline's pumping. It's like really, really similar to anxiety. And so I might try that. I mean, I don't want to get excited now because I'm trying to, you know, relax and get some rest. But maybe later, if I get gripped with anxiety again, I'm just going to try to flip it to excitement. Maybe when I'm, you know, trying to get Sammy trapped and back to the yard, I'll flip that over to excitement. But right now, that's not going to be the case. Here's Nancy. Hello, Nancy. I didn't realize she was hanging out near me. So I did another Instacart order. I ordered more of the liquid smoke and a bunch of cans of tuna and some more food that I think I might be able to eat. Just some like canned soup, some hummus. I did order tapioca pudding. I've decided that I'm just not going to eat it at night. So maybe if I just eat it like in the middle of the day, I'm not going to get as badly congested from it. Oh, and I ordered popsicles. I just went to the kitchen to get some more Pedialyte to sip on. And I had to take care of one of the security cameras pointing out the front door. It was hooked up to a battery pack, so I hooked it up to the wall. I didn't think it would reach yesterday, which is why I hooked it up to a battery pack. But it reached to the outlet. And then I went to the mailbox, and this is what I got. So this is a sympathy card from the animal hospital where Stella was when she passed away. Here's Richard. Hey, Richard. And it has a very nice handwritten note from the vet who saw Stella, who, took her in and, made her comfortable when I dropped her off there. And to me, something like this just really shows me all the difference between the animal hospital she was transferred to and the original emergency room that she went to, because nobody from the original emergency room has followed up with me to see how Stella is doing or to offer their condolences. Nobody there. She was there for 3 days. She saw various doctors, various vet techs. Nobody there gives a shit. All they care about is themselves. It makes me so angry because I've seen the stuff that these people are posting on their own social medias, and it's all like, oh, look at me, I'm a vet. Oh, look at me, I'm in the operating room with some animal that is cut open and I'm just going to take a selfie. Absolutely disgusting. And when I think about it, it makes me mad, and it really just gets my blood boiling, and it just kind of invigorates me and gives me purpose to move forward with a potential claim against them. So I have to see about that. But that's not my goal today. Maybe tomorrow I'll continue working on that. My goal today is making sure that I'm taking care of myself. But this is just such a prime example of the difference between like a good animal hospital and a horrific animal hospital, a good vet and a bad vet. What I have here is one of the vomit blankets from Sharon. I was using it the other day when I was cold because not only are these great for like vomit blankets, they are just like, they keep you so warm because it's like having like a super insulated blanket on top of you. Like it reflects your body heat back to you. And that's what I was using it for. But Richard wants to hang out with me, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this to the floor. And then Richard, what he usually does is he comes and he hangs out here right next to me. Sometimes Nancy and Ziggy does also. Here's Nancy. She's hanging out on the sofa with me. This is one of her favorite spots. She hasn't been here in a while. The Lucky Seven have been feeling Sammy's loss more than the OG4 have been feeling Stella's loss, at least from their outward behavior. Like there is a marked difference among the behavior of the Lucky Seven. They are not their carefree selves right now. They are like quiet and subdued and fearful. And like normally they're all like running around the house, headbutting each other, meowing to each other. Like there's definitely a sense of joy among them, which is not here right now. And even over the past few days when I've tried to, just be like very lighthearted and happy, especially around meal times, they're like nowhere to be found. I think the quicker we can get Sammy back, the better. Everyone that I talk to thinks like we're really close because, Sammy was in the front yard last night. I saw her on the sidewalk last night. So it's just a question of luring her closer to the house and hopefully into a trap. But if I do see her again, I'm not going to call her name. I'm just going to maybe like shake a bag of treats or like wave the spider around or something like that and see if she will move toward me versus run away. It's just I was so excited to see her yesterday. And I honestly thought that, when she saw me and heard me say her name, that she would run toward me instead of away from me. It's 2:11 p.m. and Nancy left. But here's Boo, and let me tell you what just happened. So I was getting ready to, lay down and take a nap on the couch. And all of a sudden, it's like someone rushes up to my front door and starts banging on it. And I'm like, is that the Instacart order? I'm like, usually Instacart people, like I say, leave it at the door. They just leave it at the door. Maybe they'll ring the doorbell, but usually they just leave it at the door. So I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe it's someone who saw the cat, because I put the flyers out. So I rushed to the door and it's my neighbor. It's the neighbor whose yard I searched yesterday. And I said they have like that deck like outside that I thought would be a perfect hiding spot. Well, he wanted to tell me that his brother-in-law, who lives like on the like ground level of the house, it's like a 2-family house. So on the ground level is his sister, his brother-in-law, and his uncle, and then he and his daughter are upstairs. So the sister and brother-in-law have a dog, and they take it out for walks off him. And the brother-in-law said that like 2 days ago, he took the dog out for a walk and a little black cat went running out from underneath the deck. So he wanted to let me know about that. So I thanked him and I said that I saw that yesterday when I was looking in the yard. I said I thought it would be a perfect hiding spot for the cats. And I, told him I gave them a flyer with my cell phone number on it. So if they see her again, please just text me. And I let them know that, I saw her last night and she ran away. So I'm just trying to lure her back and, get her back in the house. So that was really nice. So all the neighbors are so concerned about Sammy. That is definitely very helpful. Right, Boo? Right, Boo? Right, Boo? Here's Richard. So all the cats went like scattering when he was knocking on the door, except for Boo and Splash. They're still in the dining room, but everyone else went running. It is 2:27 p.m. Let me tell you what just happened now. So I just got a phone call on the Sammy hotline. Like I have a separate phone number set up for this with a separate ringtone. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's one of the neighbors. So I pick up the phone And it did not sound like anyone that lives around here. And they're like, yeah, I'm calling about a cat. And like, he didn't even know what he was talking about. And I'm like, okay. And he was cutting in and out, like he was on a bad connection. And he's saying something like, oh, I'm calling from the Humane Society. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if someone's calling from the Humane Society, they're not going to be on a cell phone that cuts in and out. They're going to be like on a landline, and it's going to be a professional sounding person and not this person who sounded like completely unprofessional. So then I said, okay, yeah, well, where are you located? And he goes, Newark, New Jersey. Like he's asking me a question, like Newark, New Jersey. And I'm thinking to myself, first of all, Newark, New Jersey is so far away. Secondly, anyone who finds a cat around here is not going to be taking them to Newark, New Jersey. They might take them to the local shelter, but they're not going to be taking them to all the way to Newark, New Jersey. It makes no sense. So then I grab another cell phone and I start recording, and I say to the guy, okay, I need you to repeat everything. I'm going to record this phone call. I'm setting up the recorder right now. So start again. Tell me what your name is. And he starts cutting in and out again. And I'm like, and tell me where you're located. And then click, hang up. Now, I was warned yesterday that like anytime you put a missing pet poster out or something like that, you are going to get scam calls, and like not to give anyone like certain information, and always kind of try to vet the people, especially when you get a phone call that says no caller ID like this one. So I'm just documenting this also. There are freaking scammers out there that are trying to like get money out of you or who knows what. I mean, it's like a joke. These are my Bach flower remedies. I went downstairs and I got them, and I took some of them. I took the walnut. I took mustard. I took clematis. Mustard says it brings back joy and cheerfulness when gloom descends for no apparent reason. Well, I have an apparent reason, but I took it anyway. And walnut allows you to make or adapt to major life changes, so that's good. I also took the clematis, helps you live more actively in the present rather than in the future or in your own dream world. I took that because I'm basically just trying to live day by day right now. I'm just trying to get through the day. I don't think I took the wild oat. I don't think I took the holly. And I definitely did not take the wild rose, but these are the ones that I had. And I'm definitely noticing a difference after taking these. I only took 2 drops of each. The best way that I could describe it is like the sharp edges have been rounded off. Like imagine you have like a wooden square with very sharp edges inside of you, and it keeps poking you from the inside. The best way I could describe it is this makes me feel like it's not like a sharp pointed square inside of me anymore. Like the edges are rounded. So it's just a more comfortable feeling. And I'm actually looking online now to see if I should get some other varieties that are specifically for what I'm dealing with now. And I found a few, so I might place an order online. Some people think there's no scientific evidence for it, but I don't care about that. All I care about is feeling better. These are the other 2 that I took. I took the vervain, which helps you to relax when you are over enthusiastic or strongly driven. And then larch instills a greater sense of self-esteem when you feel inferior, fear, failure, or lack of confidence. So I'm probably going to take more of these later. I find that if I take these 2 or 3 times a day, I definitely feel a difference. It is 4:14 p.m. and I just got woken up out of a nap. So I shut my eyes a little bit after 3. I was listening to some meditation videos, and I must have fallen asleep because all of a sudden I just got startled awake from like a sound of something falling or crashing. And I was like, what's going on? And, you know, my nerves are shot already. Like, my anxiety's high already. So I'm feeling it right now. But I'm so happy that I was able to take a nap. Like, even if it was only 45 minutes. Oh, my God. I got to get up. And I got to put some traps out. And scoop the litter. And do water for the cats. And take their dinner out. Straighten up the kitchen, put the liquid smoke in the yard. There's a lot I need to do, but I'm not going to force myself to do it. Whatever I get done, I get done. I'm going to move slowly and deliberately. I just took another dose of these flower remedies, and now I'm like ready to get up. Like I could totally feel them working after like 5 or 10 minutes. It is almost 6 p.m. The sun's just about gone down, and I have this trap set up here. This is where Sammy was spotted on the security camera last night at 12:35 a.m.
So I'm going to leave this here. There is a little security camera pointing at it. I just have to make sure that it's pointed in, the right angle. And there's also another trap set up in the back. Now, this trap has a blue blanket over it. Now, I took that blue blanket off of the sofa downstairs. Tonight, I am not putting any other food out other than what is in the trap. There's a little tiny bit of tuna in the heated kitty cafe, which I have near the back fence, just because my neighbor said that they saw her under their deck a few nights ago, because I figure maybe if she's still in their yard, she'd smell it and come into the yard. Once she comes into the yard to eat that, then I put a trail of liquid smoke from there to the trap. That's what the people that are helping me told me to do. So the challenge tonight is going to be making sure the food stays warm and does not freeze. Because if the food is frozen, she's not going to want to eat it. And it might not even attract her. So I'm hoping the scent of this blanket will attract her. She'll think it's one of her tunnels and she'll go in. I'm also debating on hanging the spider in the trap. So maybe she'll see the spider hanging there and it'll lure her in. So I think I'm going to do that. The problem that I have, though, with that is, any other animal is going to end up in this trap. It could be the possums that walk around. It could be any of the other cats that walk around. I was telling one of the people that are helping me that the problem that I have is Ox is in the yard and he keeps eating all the food that I put out for Sammy. And they're like, well, just let him get trapped. If he gets trapped once, it'll freak him out enough to leave. Someone else is feeding him, so that's fine. Then it clears him out of the yard and it makes Sammy feel safer to come back in. So that might happen tonight. I don't know. Maybe he's too smart to go in a trap, which I'm hoping. I'm hoping Sammy's hungry enough to go in a trap. And I'm hoping she does that before 1 o'clock in the morning, because I plan on going to bed around that hour, hopefully. I took a little nap, so I'm hoping I could stay up that late. Not that I want to. I'm hoping she goes in these traps much sooner than that, but I don't know. We can only hope and see. So here's what's going on back here. I took this bed from downstairs and I put it here, so hopefully the smell will attract her. The Christmas tree is still here. And I took another blanket from downstairs and I put it over this trap. This trap is on top of a little rug just to keep it off the ground. And then this path goes to the little heated kitty cafe. On the other side of those fences is where my neighbors saw her in their yard the other night. So hopefully if she comes from that direction, she'll be attracted to the food because those bowls stay warm, and then follow the liquid smoke here and go in the trap. It is 32 degrees out. 2 other things were suggested. One was that I go sit outside for a while and maybe she'll hear me or smell me and come into the yard. I'm not doing that because it is too cold outside and I feel like I'm drained just setting up the traps. So if my resistance was higher, if I was feeling better, maybe I would do that, but I'm not doing it now. I can't chance that. I can't chance feeling worse than I already feel. Today was a rough day. The other thing they said is to put one of the other members of the Lucky 7 in a carrier and put them outside in the carrier, maybe with a towel on it or something to keep them a little bit warm. And then, keep them out there for a little while, not a lot, not a long time, just a little while to see if maybe it'll attract Sammy. But I'm not doing that either because I feel like the cats are traumatized by everything that has happened over the past week with Stella not here anymore and now with Sammy not here anymore. I'm definitely afraid that if I put them in the carrier, take them outside, they're going to think okay, they're not here anymore, and all the other ones are going to be freaked out, whoever witnesses it. So I'm choosing not to do those. Hopefully she'll show up sooner rather than later, and hopefully she'll go in one of the traps. The only thing I haven't done yet is hung spiders in the traps. I want to see how many spider toys I have, and it does require me to cut the string off of the wand and then knot them to the inside of the trap. There's no other way to do it. So that's why I have to find the toys. I just found another one of the spider toys downstairs and I cut it off the wand and I tied it in the trap so it is directly over the trip plate. I have been keeping the back door open like this pretty much all the time since Sammy disappeared. And what I'm noticing is that none of the cats go near the back door anymore. They used to love to look out the back door, But they don't do that anymore. Like now when I need them to be like sitting here by the back door, possibly attracting Sammy, they don't want to do it. And today I realized that the reason why they don't want to do it is they're afraid that they're going to go out the door. So that's what's going on. It's 6:34 p.m. You just heard me. So that's Ox. He came up to the back door to smell the bed. And then he went and he ate some of the crunchies that are in the heated bowl. I can't put any more food out for him tonight, even though I would like to. I just can't do it. Hopefully he's not going to go in the trap. Here's Nancy. Hello, Nancy. She's in Boo's room. And, you know, people often ask me, like, isn't it hard to take care of 7 cats? And, you know, it could be challenging. There have been challenging days, but taking care of 11 cats is a walk in the park compared to what I've gone through over the past week. Like, this is the worst thing that I've ever experienced with regards to the cats. This is just intense. And hopefully, when Sammy returns and we get her back in the house, everything else is going to be a walk in the park after this, because that was a little scuffle in the hallway. Taking care of 11 cats is ridiculously easy compared to this current situation. It's 10:45 p.m. Look at what's going on in Boo's room. So, check this out. Here's Simba. You see Simba? You know who that is over there? That's Nancy. This is Nancy and Simba. So they've been hanging out together. I saw them in the hall before. And a few minutes ago, I was walking past this room, and what happened was Simba was here where he is, and Nancy was like, she was up by the window and she was walking this way. And as she was walking this way, Simba like jumped out at her and like ambushed her. And she stopped and she was like, what's going on? I think Simba wants to be friends with Nancy. There could be a budding friendship, right, Nancy? Simba, you gonna be friends with Nancy? You gonna be friends with us, Simba? You wanna play with Nancy? I just went outside because I had to get something out of my car, and I took a flashlight with me and I went around like the side of the house. Not the side where I have a camera, on the other side of the house. I did not see Sammy anywhere like in the bushes or anything. I thought she might be in there. I actually should see if I have any extra cameras, so then I could actually put a camera on that side of the house. Also, the problem is you really can't see anything because there's too many like shrubs and hedges and stuff. Like it's not like a clear path like the other side of the house is. Hello, Nancy. Nancy's making biscuits on the blanket on the bed. So I was able to eat more today than I have on previous days. And I just finished eating some peas with steamed shrimp and butter. I just love that meal. It's always very easy for me to digest it, and I love shrimp. And shrimp are very high in taurine, which helps with like panic attacks and anxiety. So I'm hoping I'll feel better from eating that. But at least I'm making progress in the right direction, and I really plan on just relaxing the rest of the night, hanging out on the couch, watching TV, maybe taking a nap. If I do take a nap, I'm going to set like a timer for 30 minutes or so, and that'll be that. I was downstairs earlier today, and I was trying to play with the Lucky 7, but nobody wanted to play with me except for Ziggy, and I gave them some food. They only ate about half of their dinner, so actually I'm going to go down and give them some more crunchies. First, I'm going to give the OG4 some crunchies. And Nancy's up here with the boys, so she'll probably want to have some crunchies with them. Right, Nancy? I was thinking about trying to put Nancy in a carrier and taking her outside, because I figure if she goes outside, she's just going to be meowing and meowing and meowing, and that might attract Sammy. But whenever Nancy sees the carrier, she flips out. It is 3:15 a.m. and here's Simba. Hey, Simba. So I've been laying on the couch, and what I did is I set an alarm on my phone to go off every half hour. That way, every time I doze off, it wakes me up every half hour, and I look at the security camera footage, and I see if there's been anyone in the yard.
and it's been very quiet tonight. Very, very quiet. Like nobody's been in the yard. It's 22 degrees out. That's why it is so cold out. So I decided that I'm going to shut the traps. I'm not going to bring them in. I'm too tired right now. So I just went outside and I shut them. That way, like there will not be an animal trapped in them the rest of the night. I need to get some sleep. You know, I thought I was going to be able to do this half-hour thing like the rest of the night. I can't do it. I don't need to be sick. So I need to get at least 5 or 6 hours of solid sleep. So I'm going to go to bed now. I'm going to hope for the best for Sammy. Hopefully she's like curled up somewhere warm. And I put some food out. Since the traps are shut, I grabbed some dry food and I filled all the heated bowls outside with dry food. Well, I didn't fill them up, but I gave him a good amount of dry food. So if she needs food, she could come by and get it. If Ox wants food, he could come by and get it. But I am very concerned for Sammy. I don't know where she is right now. I don't know how I'm going to trap her if she's not coming by. I think she didn't come by tonight because of the cold weather, because there's nobody out there. There's no possums tonight. None of the other cats are out tonight. Like, nobody's out. So, and when I walk outside, I mean, even the ground is crunching. Like, it's like everything is frozen. And the blankets that I have on top of the traps, like they have, like they're collecting ice. That's what's going on tonight. Also, I should say, Nancy was watching me. Like, she watched me go downstairs, get the crunchies, and then go outside with them. And her eyes are all big. She's like, "What are you doing?" And Ziggy was laying on the couch down there. And when I went to like pet both of them, they ran away from me. And I don't know where anyone else is. Like, everyone downstairs is hiding. They're all flipped out. Like, they're all freaked out because of Sammy not being here. Another thing I should mention is that I was hit with a good dose of anxiety right after 3 a.m., which is why I decided, okay, I got to shut these traps. And now that I'm settling down into bed, I'm feeling the anxiety. I just took another rescue remedy. Drinking some grape juice this time. I opened grape juice today. So I'm hoping that helps, and some water. I dread waking up in the morning because that's when the anxiety is absolutely worst. It is the absolute worst in the morning. Sometimes it is as soon as I wake up that it's the worst. Like, I'll wake up to an anxiety attack. Sometimes it's a little bit after I wake up. My ears are ringing so loudly. I have this like strange head congestion. I have like butterflies in my stomach. Although, yeah, I mean, I guess it's like a form of butterflies in my stomach. I was doing so good. Like, I was doing so good. And now I'm not doing good right now. Like, I hate this feeling. I hate this feeling. I'm thinking to myself, well, can I turn this into excitement? No, I can't turn this into excitement because the adrenaline hits that I keep getting are not the same feeling as the adrenaline hit of excitement. It just feels totally different. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.